next guest is an award-winning poet, writer, and multidisciplinary artist who has recently wrote a book of poetry filled with stories that will help other individuals formulate questions and consider their own deeper truths. And joining us now to tell us about Star Witness and the Bronx Memoir Volume 2, we welcome poet Orlando Ferrand. Hello and welcome.
Hi. It's always great to be here.
Yeah, well, I really should be saying welcome back.
Yes.
And in all, with all due honors, right? Because really, it's an honor to just be here with somebody who's just, well, the books that you're writing, you're kind of like spitting them out. I don't know why I'm getting a loss for words. It's just that every time you've come on, it's been for a new book. And through our relationship, what I've witnessed is the real love affair that you have with writing and producing books.
Definitely. And it's been a process, right? I mean, are we gonna talk about the Bronx?
Yeah, we're going to talk about, let's talk about Bronx Memoir, the Volume 2 first, right? Because we can start there, even though we have two books on the table, everyone. But we're going to talk about the anthology first, because not only is Orlando Ferrand a contributing writer, he was also one of the facilitators and one of the writing coaches that helped even someone like myself in this process, because I'm also published in this book. So let's talk a little bit about Charlie Vasquez, the Bronx Writers Center.
Absolutely. Well, this is the volume number 2 of the Bronx Memoir Project Anthology. And as you know, this is a project that started in 2004. And it was actually created by the Bronx Writers Center, and Charlie Vasquez, who is the director of the Bronx Writers Center. It was a great way of digging into the well of knowledge and wisdom and personal narratives that we have here in the Bronx. And that's how the first anthology came into being. Writers were, professional writers were deployed to different areas of the Bronx where we taught workshops, and the participants cultivated these personal narratives throughout the series of workshops. And the second part of this anthology has a similar setting.
Right, the
right?
Volume 2, you're saying, as far as the process,
as
right?
far as the process is concerned.
Just in staying in the topic of Charlie Vasquez and his motivation behind this, and the importance it is for us to document our stories, and then even yourself, like just coming aboard and not only being a contributing writer. I mean, obviously you're a published writer, and the fact that you're able to loan yourself in that realm, like let's just talk about that aspect of our community and how now it's accessible in a book.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I think that one of the best things that we can do for ourselves as a community is to be able to talk in first person about our stories. One of the main problems, particularly with the Bronx, has been how we've been cast. So the whole idea of the Bronx as sort of children of a lesser god, to put it in some terms, as a place of poverty and violence, is something that does not really reflect who we are as a community. And it's a very diverse community, and it's also perhaps I would say, one of the most multi-ethnic communities that we have, considering all the boroughs in New York. Basically, pretty much in the Bronx, we have a representation of everybody.
Right.
So this anthology captures those stories that are coming from Bronx residents. Some of them were born here in the Bronx, some others came as immigrants, as far back as the 1950s, and are here telling their stories. I have writers, pretty much from all walks of life, but also from different generations. It's really a cross-generational anthology.
Cross-generational and intergenerational.
And intergenerational, of course.
And I, on air, I want to personally thank you for the process with me because, I mean, you were my acting editor as well as my instructor. And I'm actually one of the contributing writers to Bronx Memoir Project Volume 2. And it's been my absolute honor to be documented amongst all these other, some are established writers and some are novice, but the idea is that they're authentic stories.
Well, that's the thing. And I mean, one of the things that we also need to look at, we have a lot of workshops going on in a lot of places, but then what happens with that? What happens with the material that is generated in those workshops? So this is a way also of bringing that material into the next level. And the sessions were also structured that way. I mean, we had instructors that have different styles. They also come from different backgrounds. But the aim of the entire process was to get the participants of our workshop to really get their stories down and then polish those stories through attending those workshops.
Right, and try to meet deadlines really always cuts it. It's amazing how once you have a date that you have to aim towards, now all of a sudden everything kind of like falls into place and you're forced to just make decisions, let's say.
Well, we treat it like a professional scenario because when you're working in the world as a professional writer, whether you are fully depending on that as a main source of income or is something else that you do but you do it professionally, you are going to have to deal with deadlines. And also there comes a point in the process where you're no longer really writing to heal, but now you are writing artistically. And you need to have knowledge of the craft. And I think that is really one of the main strengths of the Bronx Writer Center, that is aware of that. Everybody wants to be a writer or it sounds really good, but it is an athletic process as well that requires discipline and focus.
I like
and
that
knowledge
term.
of the craft.
I like the term athletic.
It's
I like
athletic,
that.
definitely.
I love
it
that.
is.
I love that. Yeah, because there's a certain discipline and stamina that you
We're
need to.
not born writers. Writers are made. I mean, we might be born with
Writing abilities.
some writing
Right.
abilities and some talents in some way that, of course, need to be then cultivated. But writers are made in the sense that it is a process that requires discipline and continuity of purpose.
When you're a fine example of that, right? Because not only are you in Bronx Memoir, you have your own book that we're going to talk about right now, and you're also going to give us a taste of one of your pieces. Let's talk about Star Witness. And congratulations on, what is this, your fourth book?
This is my fourth book. Star Witness is interesting because I came here when my first book was launched, and I think that is what, well, we have met before and we have worked together in the theater, but that also brought us together as well and allowed me to get to know more about you as well, right? So it's not coincidence that I am here to continue to unfold as well my story as a writer and where I am today as a multidisciplinary artist. I also designed the entire book as a concept as well, the large format, which is not really something that you find as a regular thing, having a book that large. It's 8.5 by 11.
It's very appealing too.
Well, there is a whole purpose on this, and what happens is that I am very interested. First of all, the book is making a comeback. I'm talking about the book in print,
Right.
Kindle, the electronic media, that is not really happening as much anymore. It is, of course, important, but it's not really happening as much. What is really going on right now is that we are reconnecting again with the tactile creature in us, and we are tactile creatures by nature. We need to touch, we need to caress, we need to hold. And that is what the book as an object of desire, also besides being an artistic object, gives us. So I had those things.
And not only that, it saves your eyes, because what people don't realize is that the rays that are coming out from the electronic devices are really doing damage to your eyes.
Absolutely. So, I had all these things after I have written the book and went through a process of editing that took a year and then another year to sort of reconsider some of the poems and go back. I worked in the second phase of the project, the editing part, with my longtime mentor and editor from Columbia University, Robert Cohen, and and now I am editing Robert Cohen's work too. Which
Nice.
is really a process. It's very interesting how this works, and now the mentee is also becoming a mentor of the
Nice.
former mentor. And just to show you that is definitely something that has to do also with growth and how we
Absolutely.
mature, because every book has given me the opportunity to mature as a person as well in the process of writing it.
So I know that this book is a collection of poems
Yes, it is.
and a passage or a rite of passage. Exactly what do you mean by that?
Well, I mean, I think that as individuals, uh, we come of age and then we mature and then we continue to mature in the process. And then there are things that are somehow we are entitled to because they are sort of expected. We fall in love, we bring children to the world, or we travel and interact with communities, and all those are things that we've been doing as humans, since we have populated this planet. So this book, in that sense, um, records different moments of my life, and it has been written throughout a period of many years. I mean, so there are poems here that date back to, they're as old as 10 years ago when I was traveling. My mentor likes to say, when I was traveling the cosmos, right?
I like that
And
term.
living in different cultures also.
Right.
I have lived definitely in different cultures, from Mexico to South America to then Spain. And that allowed me with the possibility to get a deeper sense of connectedness that we have as human beings.
I got it, and I hope you guys get it. And he's going to give us a taste of it. And just in closing, right, just based on everything you just said, because I'm just getting the book now, right, because this is the first absolute print, so I don't have a copy yet. But based on everything I've read, it kind of loans itself to the book The Alchemist, right, which is the
Oh, that's a wonderful and very appealing comparison. But it does have definitely the spirit, and that is the spirit of this book. I become an alchemist in a way, if you wish, in that process through my journey on this planet. And that's really what Star Witness is all about.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you.
Orlando
Thank
Ferrand.
you.
Everyone, you guys, Star Witness and Bronx Memoir Volume 2 are both available on Amazon. And Star Witness is also available at Barnes & Noble. And for more information on Orlando and his book, please visit orlandoferran.net. And I hope you enjoyed our book club episode. But we're going to take a quick break. And when we return, Orlando will read an excerpt from his book, Star Witness. Don't go anywhere.